Clarence if you've done the bigger author events, but I know you do like local markets and stuff, and that's more so what I usually do. So going to an actual author event, this will be my first one. So pretty excited. We are going to start with Clarence tonight. We're just going to go in order. Um, and then once we get to Ted, I will round things off and pass it back over to Clint. So same as usual. All right, Clarence, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. What you been into over there? Are you still working on your book two for a girl named Mishka?
It isn't. It's on hold at the moment.
Okay,
Uh, I have too many projects going on,
I
for
feel
being
that.
honest.
Yeah. You don't have to say or not, but did you ever go ahead and go with the Stephanie James publishing thing?
I did not.
Okay, I was just
Um,
wondering.
it's still a possibility. So
Mm-hmm.
I did read Mike Minicky's story that I
Mm-hmm.
originally planned on branching off of. I
Yeah.
just never found the spot for it,
Okay.
so it never really took the direction that I planned on going.
I branched off the end of it, so I just went straight into a third book, which was
Yeah.
just more comfortable for me, I think, than just like running off of one of Mike's sentences and just jumping straight into it.
Yeah.
Um, but I needed a side project to help me in different ways, so I definitely jumped on it. It's kind of a good cleanser for me.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you ever did it because I know your name was brought up for that.
Yeah, we've talked about doing it a few different times. I'm not
Mhm.
saying no, I'm just saying not right now.
Okay. Yep. Well, if you ever say yes and you're ready to share, let me know because I've written a pretty cool trilogy to what Mike has going on, and I think that they're just fun. But I get if people aren't, it's hard to fit in time for our own projects right now. Like you said, so many projects, and then adding another one. Wow. You have been doing makeup. Is it like SX? Is that how you?
It's either SFX or
S,
FX, just short
okay.
for special effects.
Yeah, special effects. That's right. Um, you've been doing that for a while now, and you're getting really good at it. Do you, for each of your new SFX makeup artists, do you pick something out of your books, a specific character? And if you could, like, tell us some of the things that you've done that went with specific characters for your books.
Yeah, sure. So I do sometimes. Yeah. The problem that I'm having with doing them based out of books is I'm kind of running out of out of ideas. I've done like I have this clown character that I've done a few different versions of, which I know how much you love clowns. I have not and will never forget. Um, I've done like insects crawling out of my body, which is based off of another story that I did. Um, let's see, what else have I done? There's this character in my book, Without Saying Goodbye, where like half of his face has been burnt, and I did that. Um, yeah, so I have found inspiration from. I've also done like bruises and cuts and all kinds of wound stuff, which is pretty common in horror. As of lately, I haven't done as much book inspired stuff as I have just experimenting, because what I did was I watched like a bunch of tutorials in the beginning and kind of learned how to do the basics, and then I started following those tutorials and getting better that way. And then I started like replicating images. So Mike Minicky will tell you this story. He sent me a picture of his finger when it was cut open, and I replicated it with makeup, and he was really impressed by it. I just sent it off to him. So I was doing that for a while, but now mostly I'm just kind of venturing on my own and experimenting and playing around with it.
No, you're definitely getting better. I always preach that practice makes perfect, and that in this case, it's been very obvious. You were good when you started, though. Like you immediately had something going on with it. I feel like if I did it, you could tell that it was just not fake and not real. And but even when you started, it was already looking good. So
So
That stuff
I'd
on your
watch.
that stuff on your face the other day, was that just like so uncomfortable? See, my sensory issues could never.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it was unpleasant. Also, it took so long. That one particular one with all the gravel on the side of the face took me about 3 hours to do, and I was about maybe halfway through when I was annoyed with it. And I was like, "Oh, I still got so long to go."
I'm assuming it would still be just like I would get so sweaty. I know I would just be sweating in the mirror. I don't know how you do it. I don't know, but it is really cool, and I have a high appreciation towards it. I used to love watching those shows where they did the um, SFX makeup like that. Like,
Surprisingly, I never watched any of those shows.
they're so good. You should definitely check them out. You probably learn something from them. Honestly, I would just watch it for the entertainment, but for you, it might be a. They are entertaining. I can't remember my. I'll send you my favorite one when I can think after the show, and I can think of the name. So and you said you didn't have anything planned for the future, or you're having trouble figuring out new ones, or is there anything that you act like? Are we going to see Mishka one day? You're going to pop up in like a wig, like, please,
Possible.
please.
It could happen.
Yeah.
I don't have anything like particularly planned at the moment. I do plan on doing more film stuff in the near future. Uh, but right now there's not a lot of opportunities. The film scene here is kind of small, so it sort of revolves around this two or three film festivals. So that's usually where all the work is. And there are a few small film companies, but I haven't seen much lately.
Yeah, I know that your state is very similar to mine, and where it comes to the arts and crafts just really aren't appreciated as much as they should be, which is unfortunate. I have so many notes for you right here because your folder is never ending at this point. So, like, all my notes for you, I'm like, what's Clarence got going on? My
I do
reminders. You.
have I do have one possibility in the future. I'm in talks with a buddy of mine's band about
Mhm.
doing a look for them for like a stage look, but we haven't decided whether it's going to happen or not. It's just kind of early in talks.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, definitely update us as soon as you, if it goes any further. A band is like the like appearance.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like I'm thinking of like Kiss and stuff. um, Sorry, I just got a message. Leanne and Jay, hello. I will say hi to you guys before I go on through Clarence's notes. I do want to talk about Mishka with you because I was assuming that that was still maybe one of your main projects right now, but it's my favorite book of yours, so I do want to talk about it. It took you a very long time to write. It was 7 years? 7? Mm-hmm. What is the shortest book in comparison to that? And we're not going to say, damn, Ernie, that's cheating. At least like one of your bigger books that was shorter. And why do you think it maybe took you so long with Mishka compared to your faster works? Because all of your works are really good. So I'm just, yeah.
Let's see. I did a novella, another novella, kind of small book called "The Latchkey Kids" that I turned out relatively fast. I don't remember 3 months, 6 months, something like that. But for the bigger stuff, without saying goodbye, came to me. It took me less than a year. I kind of cranked it out, and by the time, so I had done like a lot of groundwork and a lot of research about the troubled teen industry leading up to it. So by the time I actually started writing the story, I had most of it fully formed. So I just kind of regurgitated it onto the page, and it came pretty easy. And it ended up being, I don't remember, like 45,000 plus, and I turned that out in less than a year, like all the way to the finish line, all the way to publication in less.
Pushing it. So. For me, anyways, personally. And I I think it's just odd sometimes how some stories can come to us with flow and some others with not. And actually, I didn't think you were going to say without saying goodbye because it was just as good as A Girl Named Misha. So the fact that you did it so fast. What is your favorite book to talk about when people ask you about your books? Which ones do you bring up first that you're like, this is what I feel most comfortable with? And it's just like a part of you that feels like an extra limb. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
No, no, you're not
Okay.
muted. I think you
Okay.
were at one point, but
Okay.
um, my favorite to talk about is probably Without Saying Goodbye. Uh, I feel like I really said what I needed to say in a very specific way. I feel like I honed my craft as best as I could. Um, there are some people, readers in here that call it my magnum opus. I don't know that that's true, but maybe. So I like to talk about that one a lot. Surprisingly, I don't talk about A Girl Named Mishka that much. For no particular reason. It just doesn't really come up. I love the book, and there will be a sequel. I'm working on it. Um, I talk about the collections a lot, which I think they need a little more love than they get, but it is what it is.
No, I agree. And also, I do want to say, Marianne, we do mute our mic in between. So, like, you'll see me talking just because I constantly respond to myself, even though you guys can't hear me. um, so, you will see me say stuff with my mic muted, but we want to make sure we can hear our authors better because I have a heater on in the background and dogs and all that good stuff. Clarence, I can't believe it, but it's already our halfway point. I mean, that was the fastest 15 minutes of my life, I feel, and I didn't even touch half of the stuff that I wrote on my notes to talk to you about. So you got to come back.
I will.
Thanks, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and move on over to Ted. Hello, Ted.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've had you. I feel like it's when we have a TED show, it's like a little symbol of how long we spread out our guests because I feel like it's been forever since we've had you, but I know we've had you here not too long ago.
Yeah, well, it's a good show. It's a good
Yeah,
show. So it has a
yeah.
lot of.
2 months, yeah. See, we try. I know that Clint is the mastermind behind it, but he tries to spread you guys out. So when we have new authors come in, and then with our regulars like Clarence, who's been here definitely the most, um, yeah. So I'm happy to see your face. I heard you have a new book, and I want to give you a chance to talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead, Ted, and let you do an introduction for yourself and your book, so everyone in the comments and watching can get it. I know that there are some here that haven't heard of you before, and I would love to give you a chance to tell us everything that you have, what you got going on, and what you got coming up. And don't feel bad if you feel like you're taking up time because this is your time. Of
It's okay. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me.
course.
I'm Ted Kostis. I'm a, military radar engineer, and I was also a consultant at the European Parliament. So my background is radar systems, military systems, missiles, ordnance, and strategic advice to people who have to make hard decisions, just like in our novels, right? We have our characters taking choices that have grave consequences, and they have to take them in a very little time, under a lot of pressure, and with incomplete information, right? Now that's branded as a good advice for a novel, but it's actually also in real life, isn't it? Right now, uh, I have I have two lines of work. The major one is the Pearl of Queen Nyctandra, and I will let you in on a secret. It's Nyctandra. It's two Greek words combined together. It's Nycta is night, and Andra is man. So it's the night of men, because this whole work is a parable about 1984, and George Orwell and totalitarian states and all of that. So it's a big parable. So that was why this word was chosen instead of the more easy to the tongue Nithandra, right? So English speaking people, because I've lived 10 years in English speaking countries in the United States, in New York and in London. So it's easy to the tongue, Nithandra, but it doesn't make the Greek double words. So it's a spy thriller, but it's actually a combination of genres, which at first glance they may seem like a bit of incompatible, but they are not. For example, you can have Gothic noir because you can have the dread of Gothic and the betrayal and the hard-boiled thing of noir. You can put them in a space opera instead of good old Mother Earth. And also you can add a spy story into it. So you can add all these hard decisions and all these things that we talk about. So, of course, in order to make a quality work of quality, I've been working for this first part for 6 months now, even a little bit more. I have only part one out, and I have found that there are major advantages into having your book published into two parts. That one part is considerably away, 3, 4, or even 5 months away, because first of all, the protagonist gets to lose. It's the first part. It falls under midpoint reversal. It falls under just before pinch point 2. So you can very well have your protagonist be unconscious, be arrested, and be shoved into a lot of trouble with absolutely no immediate relief of escape. One might as well say that's the end. But I don't know if you agree, but I think that's an
No,
advantage.
I really like that. And that was the first time that I mean, I've kind of thought of it that way before, but to hear it in the way you just said it and your perspective of it, I really like that. And definitely am going to keep that up here because, yeah, I was just thinking the other day, what would happen if we did a bad ending? And I'm like, no, no, no. But that is a good way to get away with it for sure.
Yeah, you have the protagonist lose. He has lost. At the end of part one, he has lost. But you know, you can by melting these genres, you don't have spy story 101. You have a lot of feelings because we write to provide an experience, and I will uh, permutate a little bit that we say that we write what we like. I think that we write what we would like to experience, and we have readers that trust us and read our works because they want to feel that experience as well. Uh, that's what I feel. But in order to get a little more, my second line of work is a guide for writing Gothic noir space opera spy-fi. Because in the process of doing all this, I have found some subtle things that, if they connect together, they provide a unique experience. So I went down and I invested a lot of paper and a lot of computer power and all of that in order to write it. It's a little bit ready, but I think in the next month I'll be able to have it out. But for the Pearl of Queen Nictandra, what is the experience? The experience is that you picture this: your ex-Dodgers, you're an elite spy for the Ghost Federation, right? And they send you in a planet, and they say you gotta give this data stick to a pirate captain who wants to defect, and you'll meet him in a saloon, and it's in and out. Brass contact, that's it. Of course, Rex is 38. He is quite, he knows his way around, and he asks, is it really a brass contact? And his superior says, yeah. But he knows, but he plays along. So the moment he gets into the saloon, he has at least 30 bounty hunters, state and non-state actors trying to kill him. And he smashes out of a 50-meter window, 50-meter drop, and he survives only because he was given an exoskeleton that took all its power to save him from that 50-meter drop. And I've got this planet to be 0.9 G, but still, it's not far away from 1G. So, and this guy is hunted. He passes over bridges, and let's let a little secrets out so we can discuss them. This pirate lord and Rex's superior had met 6 days ago, and this pirate lord says, we want to come in the Ghost Federation. We want you to take us, and we will give you actionable intelligence on how to beat your enemies, right? And we will defect also, and we will help you destroy them as well. But in order to secure a smooth integration into the Ghost Federation, this pirate lord says, look, I have a daughter. Why don't we marry her to Rex Dodgers? Why don't we marry her to this guy? And this superior says, look, he's a womanizer. He's okay. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He's fit, but he's not interested. It won't work. This needs deception. Okay, I hadn't added this, but I thought about it later, having this supreme leader say, look, I've got some other people who might be more willing and more easy to do this thing for you. And having the parallel says, no, she wants him, right? So this Rex passing over the arches, it's like a marriage ritual that these pirates have, but it's called the Arch of Struggle, and it's just an arch, and the groom passes, under, and if the father-in-law likes him, he throws rice to him. If he doesn't like him, he pelts him with tomatoes, right? But this pirate lord chose crossfire under the bridges of the Petritis River that Rex is running for his life. And this is how it starts. This is the first 15 minutes of what's happening over there. And Rex doesn't know that he doesn't know what's happening. And there's a lot. I don't want to monopolize it. If you have any questions or anything.
Yeah, of course. For one, thank you for always giving the best explanations. A lot of authors actually struggle with talking about their books, and then we have authors like you, Ted, that just could go on because you're so invested. And not that we're not all invested, but some of us do I have a hard time talking about my books face to face. So you do a really good job at that, and I just have to say good job because not a lot of us can do it. Excuse me. So you said this was like the first 15 minutes of the book, and I just want to say that you do such a good job at like dramatizing the situation, and it's like a true opera, like a space opera. Because I was going to ask you, what do you think makes it a space opera? But like, you just really kind of explained it and showed us the little tiny details, the little tiny quirks, and conflicts between your characters. And the tomatoes, you have humor, so it's just I feel like you done something but like a comic book, but it's not. Do you ever think about doing like graphic novels for these? Because I think they would make really cool graphic novels too.
Yeah. I've started doing this. I got my Wacom pen helping me to draw, and I've also had. I've started in around 2020 trying to draw faces and bodies and all of that. Self-taught, but now it's been around. It's more than 5 years. So now I can draw a face. I remember myself starting this. I couldn't draw a face. but it's action. I like comics very much, and this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to get Le Carré um, essence, Le Carré atmosphere, and put Ian Fleming to write it. Put the action. Put action in Le Carré. Because, for example, when you have the man who came in from the cold, it doesn't have chases, it doesn't have strong twists, it doesn't have all of this stuff. But if you had Ian Fleming inject himself into this script, then you would have Rex Dodgers. You have you have my pen name is Tex Casnovas. You have this guy writing it. This is I tend to do action, but I also want the atmosphere. And Gothic provides this atmosphere in a fantastic way because it immerses you into a danger and into horror that it's not like a jump scare, but it's like a crescendo of feelings that end into somewhere. And if I may say, I admire Clarence's work. It's fantastic. I like it very much. I actually do horror comedy, but look, comedy and horror actually they're very very close. Why? Because comedy and horror depends on surprise. Right? I tell you a joke. If you don't know the end of it, you will laugh. If you know the end of it, it may be the best joke, right? But you will say, "Oh, okay, yes, I knew it, I knew it." It doesn't take the surprise. And now for horror too, the quality of Clarence's work is really great. I mean, I've seen his videos, really great, and I think it surpasses. It's very nice, and it provides that dread. It provides that quality of dread. So that's as far as I have to say.
No, you answered actually my last question I had for you because I was going to ask you why you like kind of lean more towards this gothic aesthetic with just the poppy the way you present your space dramas. I was going to ask that and I think you just answered that pretty well for me. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Clint. My time is up. He's just sitting there waiting patiently like the good little boy he is. Good 6'7" good big boy. Thank you guys so much. It's always a pleasure. I could talk to both of you literally all night. So thank you guys. And as always, I'm Shae Smith, and this is Impromptu Interview.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Bear with me on lighting and whatnot, trying to figure out new setup. There for a second, I felt like I was in a police station. And they're like, "What'd you do with it? Where is it?" It's like,
No, I like it. I actually really like it. I was going to say something until you meant, and then you mentioned it. But yeah, I like that lighting. It's a good glow on you.
better than my blue lights. Clarence, welcome, sir. I believe I asked you if you would be able to do a demonstration. Are you going to be able to do that tonight?
I can do that.
What do you have prepared for us, sir?
I was going to do an open wound. Relatively easy to do, and for the most part, you can use household items. I mean, with the exception of like paint and stuff, but regular makeup. And I can get started anytime you want me to.
I think we're ready. Let's do it.
All right. So you're gonna start with some ordinary toilet tissue, and you're gonna rip it in half. This is 2-ply. You can just tear it apart, and it'll be very, very thin. From here, you're just gonna roll it. Pretty easy. And you're gonna roll both sides. Or rip it. That works too. It'll be alright. But ideally, you'll see why I do this towards the end, but you want it to be relatively tight. You want it to be pretty well wound. Depending on the length of the wound, you can like rip it in half, or if you want to do smaller wounds and stuff. So you're going to look kind of like this when you're done. And now that I'm looking at it, I think I am going to just use one piece of it to make it kind of smaller. So I'm going to split it in half. Okay. Now, with just a Q-tip and some liquid latex. Now, I said household items. You can use Elmer's glue as an alternative to liquid latex. It has a similar consistency, although liquid latex is a little bit more watery, but it will work. I'm going to apply it to the skin. And basically I'm making kind of like an oval. Kind of applying it. Whoops. Then I'm going to take my toilet tissue and I'm going to place it inside the circle like so. I had to stand up so you guys could see it, but and whoops, as I drop it like so. You want the top and the bottom to touch. Sometimes you might have to reapply the liquid latex if it dries too quickly. That's kind of what happened here. That's okay. I'll do it again. Just give it a little touch up. I'm going to touch it there, touch up there. And put a little under here. Also, doing it on yourself is way more complicated than doing it on somebody else, which is hysterical. All right. Now, that's going to dry. It's kind of difficult to see, but that's essentially what it's going to look like for now. This is just concealer. Get it as close to your skin tone as you can. It's never going to be perfect, but then you're going to apply it to the edges. Pretty simple. What this is doing is giving it the illusion of being your skin rather than toilet tissue. And I chose this because I was concerned about the time frame, so I wanted to go simple because some of the jobs that I've done in the past have been exceptionally long. So if you follow my TikTok at all, I did a piece over the weekend where I had like a bunch of stones on the side of my face, and that took me about 3 hours, and I did not want to put you guys through that. You guys would get tired of me very quickly. But essentially, you're going to apply the concealer and try to make it look, doesn't have to be perfect, but now see it's sort of a little more flesh tone. Okay. From here, you're going to take just a regular paintbrush. You could use Q-tips, you could use whatever. This is the stuff that you might not have just laying around at home, but I have a palette of grease paint right here. Pretty easy, pretty cheap. You could probably get it at, regular stores. And I'm going to paint the inside black. This is going to give the illusion that there's something beneath it. Now, I wouldn't only do black because it seems a little one-dimensional if you do it just black. I'll get a little closer to the camera. Like that. So what I would do is clean off my brush. And I would do either a pink or a red that sort of gives it the illusion of blood or flesh or what have you on the inside. as well. So we're going to go around like that. And then this is the part that everybody loves. This is the favorite part. And also, when you're doing a look like this, it's okay to make mistakes on something like this because you're going to end up drenching it in blood anyway. So you can cover up your own mistakes. That's what I'm doing. I dipped it into some fake blood, and I'm sort of just filling in. And be generous with it. Like, don't be afraid of the fake blood. Nobody's going to judge you. Go crazy. And you can use it to, like, cover up your mistakes. Kind of like my last 30 years, you know. And this one is a little more risen than I would usually go. I'd usually go a little thinner, but more or less, that is going to be the end result. Pretty simple. Not bad for, 10 minutes.
Quick with it. And I'm sure, like, given more time, you'd be able to touch it up. And so the reason I asked you for this demonstration is you have a new movie coming out that you're doing some movie events for. Do you have dates on those?
I don't have an exact date as of yet. We are very close to the movie being done. It's called Cathedral. It's a short film. Its runtime right now is about 22 minutes. We do plan on running it through some film festivals and stuff, but I'm hoping that it'll be available on YouTube soon-ish. And I'm so excited for people to see it because we've been working so hard on it for so long.
I'm really excited to see it. And you did all the makeup for this film, right?
I did the makeup for the film, yes.
And so it was just you, or did you have help at all?
No, so there isn't a lot of special effects makeup, only a couple of scenes, but I did all of it.
Now, you had a character, if I remember right, he was in a top hat. Was that for this film?
No.
Or what was that for?
That was one of the characters from one of my books I was using to try to promote my book. So the concept of the movie is it's about an older gentleman who acquires this haunted radio, and it is using the voice of his deceased wife to manipulate him. And he later learns that it's not actually his wife because he's convinced that it is, and chaos ensues.
Now, Cathedral was a short story from one of your other books. I believe it was The Rejected Ones, right?
Correct.
Where can we get that to prepare for it whenever it's available?
My collection of short stories, The Rejected Ones, right here. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, my website if you wanted to get some slight merch, stuff like that.
Buddy, I'm so impressed by you. You always tackle... I'm impressed by you. You always tackle your projects with, like, full heart. So, all the skills and stuff. I'm just really impressed.
I blush.
Now, Shae talked about you having book 2 of A Girl Named Mishka is kind of being written. What other projects do you have? I believe you have Redacted Tales. Are you still picking that up again?
Mm-hmm. So, as of the last...
are you taking new authors?
Yeah. Redacted Tales is back, but it's not at the same speed that it was before. I posted 3 live readings over the last week or so of me just reading stories. And I do have a more fleshed out idea as to where I'm going with it. So I have a collection of short stories that's in submission that I've already used some of those short stories for Redacted Tales. So I think what I'm going to do is if it doesn't get picked up by an agent or any publishers, which a lot of them have already rejected it, I'm dwindling it down to the end here. I'm going to rename that collection. I'm going to call it Redacted Tales, and I'm going to push that one, all of those stories over time, all through that, while taking on submissions, while doing whatever. So that collection of short stories will be called Redacted Tales. And then I will turn into like an anthology series after that. So there'll be Redacted Tales Volume 2, where I will take whomever's stories, rather than just doing the audio, I will do an actual anthology and the audio, and then hopefully go from there. As far as that goes, I'm going to need a lot of help, to be honest with you. I'm not a rich man. This has been rather expensive, and I'm trying to pay everybody. It's a lot right now. What the other project that I have that I haven't been talking about much lately, I've been writing a cryptid horror novel called Ruin. It's sort of about like a mimic slash skinwalker and how it ties up into this lawyer's life, and he is imitating the lawyer's wife. I don't want to go too much further than that, but I am like 3 drafts done on that, and I don't have a direct vision as to where I want to put it or what I want to do with it yet. But so that's in the future. Right now, I'm just writing by priority, and unfortunately, the Mishka project kind of got pushed aside for these other 2 for now. But I do plan on picking it back up this year within the next 5-6 months or so, and I plan on hopefully finishing Mishka sequel this year. I don't want it to take 7 years like the first one did.
Sometimes that happens. Hey, Clarence, this has been awesome. We'll circle back to you and do our whole spiel at the end. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Ted,
Hello.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, you are on, 3 time zones, 4, 5 time zones away. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's, 3 in the morning for you?
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me. Um,
Uh, hey, real quick, I always have troubles finding your books. What's the easiest way to find your Rex Casanova books?
well, I have a link tree, which it's the usual link tree, and then the slash, and then it's text Casanovas. If you can,
Uh, for some reason, your link tree never works for me, but I should be able to figure it
I,
out. Uh,
I've wrote it.
yeah,
I've
there we
wrote it
go.
in the. I've wrote it in the comments. If you put a link tree and a text Casanovas over there, you'll get the link tree, and in there it's the Patreon, it's the Rim Stories, it's links to the website on the WordPress, which has information and links to the books and everything. Uh, in my uh, in my Patreon, you will find an alternate version of the first chapter, because the first chapter is the most important in a novel. Um, so I have thought about it, and I went with this first chapter in the book, where you have the hook. Rex is in danger and he's running for his life. And then you have the inciting incident. What was the inciting incident? He was ambushed in a saloon and he had to fall 50 meters down and run. But then you have the catalyst. So the inciting incident is the external threat, and the catalyst is the internal thoughts of the protagonist of how to deal with this situation. So in the book, because I wanted to show that this was a desperate situation, I had the catalyst orienting towards the desperation of the situation. Because actually, if you are ambushed by 30 people and you have to fall 50 meters down and you run for your life in a river tributary, in a dry river tributary, and everybody's coming from all sides, I mean, I don't know any normal people that would say, I will find these people who did this to me and I will get them. I will find them, I will get them, you know. But because why we read novels? We read novels because we want to read about superheroes, right? We want to read about superhumans. We want to read about people that, given a situation, they would go far more than we could do, or get inspired by them and go ourselves that extra mile. So I wrote the alternate version. It's in at least the Patreon. It's surely in Patreon, and it has a catalyst that Rex says, "I will find these people who did this to me, and I will get them." Right? That's two alternate things, because as I said, the first chapter is very important. It's a tiebreaker of either the reader. I don't know if you agree, but I think it's a tiebreaker if the reader would go beyond this first chapter, this first 3 pages of the novel.
I can't wait to get it. This is what you've been posting on your Patreon, right? Just this short clips.
Yeah. This has been there for some days. It's in there, and the actual version is in Rim Stories 100%, and the alternate version is in Patreon 100%. This I remember.
I think it's a really good segue into my main question. What drew me into your stories was the dynamic between the pirates and Rex. And I was curious why you chose pirates, and can I know just a little bit more about them? Because I think everybody else will be interested in them as well.
Yeah, sure. I have a lot of backstory designed, uh, as I think any good novelist would do. So what I thought about was that it's now the year 2300, and there's a king on planet Rarelia, and it's called the Rarelia Kingdom. But this king is spending too much, and he has got the kingdom in great debt. And in order to get funds, he issues letters of marque to privateers to go and attack other planets and get loot and give it to him so he can spend some more, or he can pay his previous debts. But what the pirates do is that they keep 90% of the loot. They give him a 10%.
Man, it sucks. It
And
sucks.
what
I don't like it.
happens? So uh, what happens is that after 40 years, the pirates have grown very strong, and they overthrow this king. And there are 13 clans of pirates, but the kingdom is in shambles, is in debt and everything. So they decide to use their own loot from this 90% and keep on the 3 planets of the kingdom, give food and give shelter and give clothes to the people, so the people won't revolt, and deny the payment of the debts to the bankers who issued these loans to Rarelia. So immediately you have a big conflict, because in reality, every conflict and every war, it's the foundations are financial. The foundations are economical. If you don't have funds, you cannot go to war. Um, and if you issue debt to a country, you may become a protectorate. So the root is economical in everything, and this is a very big foundation in my novels, that I research this economical and financial and military maneuvers. For example, I had because of my work, I know, as many people know, of course, how did the U.S. fleet beat the Japanese fleet at Midway? What maneuver actually happened and what decisions actually happened, which is not only about the Japanese planes trying to change ordnance in between the battle. It's far, far more deep. And I'm about to write a military sci-fi story about that. So I find inspiration about the history of economics and finance and actual war situations, and I try to put them into a coherent storyline. Which, of course, what we do is that we have a storyline, which is the actual happening of the events, and then what we do is that we select some pieces out of this story, and we devise our plot, which our plot is, starting medias res for the beginning, Rex, being handed in medias res. Instead, of having Rex walk into the saloon, getting a drink, sitting in a table, waiting for the pilot door, I would even stop reading that. But when you have somebody running and a lot of people trying to kill him, I say, what the, is happening here, I don't know if you agree. I mean, that's
No, that all made perfect sense, and I appreciate the effort you put into your lore. Some authors they seem to kind of fall short on some parts, but for you, I really feel like no that not only like does it matter to us, the reader, which is important, of course, but to the characters as well. Like I feel like they're very real. The pirates is a real problem for your characters, and I feel like that on there you really hit the nail on the head.
yeah,
Uh,
it's
you are on. You are on book what again for your Rex Dodgers book again?
yeah, the main effort this period is I've completed part one of the Pearl of Queen Nyctandra, um, which allows for a different premise for the first book and allows for a more complete and final version of the premise for the second book, because you need to have mystery in the novel. If you told everything to the reader, then you would lose the excitement. So what I've done is that I have only Rex's POV for the most of the book, and then at the end I have three meetings that happened 6 days before this chase, 4 days and 2 days. So that's the plot. That's the non-linear narration of events. The reader, and this is only for the reader. It's not for Rex. Rex knows nothing about that. That's just simply a choice of mine to show the reader what happened in the background, but Rex doesn't know anything about that. So he doesn't know, that it's the pirate's daughter that he's, being prepared to get married to fall in love with, and all of that. And of course, part two, as I said, it allows for the productions to be in a bad situation on the first part. And for part two, when you have the midpoint reversal and the pinch point two and the plot point two, where the character goes from worse to worse, worse to worse, and he has to, and in the act three, he has to take all the lessons learned from the previous experiences, from the previous what happened, and he has to apply these lessons learned in order to create a new plan that was a completely different plan from what it started, in order to go to climax and be able to beat the I won't say bad guys, I will say the adversaries, because they are not bad guys. Everybody has an interest. If somebody is more powerful, then his interest is winning, is beating the other interest. It's a game of power. It's not like good or bad. Although this is very good psychological warfare. If you say God is with us and we go to war, so you have a moral high ground saying, go with us. It's not with them. Um, and but in my novels I pay particular attention to have absolutely no good or bad, but to have interests. One's interest and the other interest is simply a conflict of interest and simply a matter of cunning, a matter of deception, a matter of better plans and better resources or anything for somebody to win. Now, just simply for a last line, we have Rex Dodge as a character who was taken 8 years old. He was an orphan. I know it's an archetype of spies, but he was taken 8 years old in the Ghost Federation, so he has absolutely the utter allegiance to this state. So whatever is done to him, maybe giving the world to him, he will not leave the Ghost Federation. And
Hey, Ted, thank you so much. Sorry for stepping up for a sec. I was getting a knock at the door. This is the end of the show. Real quick, guys, where can we find you? What do you have going on? And what do you have coming up? Starting off with Clarence.
My name is Clarence Carter. Follow us on Redacted Tales on YouTube. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. There's a Patreon as well that's not very active, but we're trying. And also, we talked about a girl named Mishka quite a bit. So if you like this, what we talked about, a lot of people enjoy it. It's getting pretty good reviews. On the Zon, on Kindle, it also won an award, the same award that our dear friend Clint won. Same award, different year, but same award. Give us all a follow. Drop in and say hi.
Thank you, Clarence. Ted?
Hi, I'm Ted Kostis. I write spy novels, space opera spy novels, military sci-fi, and I'm also experimenting with a gothic noir angle on these stories. The best way to find me is on Linktree and Tex Casnovas, Tango Echo, X-Ray, Charlie, Alpha, Sierra, November, Alpha, Sierra, Tex Casnovas. It's the pen name of this particular line of books. I have written with my own name a horror comedy, space opera, a Ganasa Incident, which is on Amazon. That was my first creation, and I love it particularly because it's my first completed novel, but it doesn't go deep into horror. It's absolutely horror comedy. It takes horror situations and makes you burst into laughter by them, because I cannot stand. I will make an I cannot stand horror, but I can stand horror comedy, right? So that's why I write it this way.
Thank you so much, Ted. Shae, do you have anything you need to plug?
Just what I mentioned at the beginning, I'm doing Indie LitCon May 16th, so it's quite a bit of ways away, but I'm excited about it, and I'm just putting it out there for everyone to wish me good luck, because I know you guys can't travel all the way to Indiana, to Indianapolis for an event, but if you guys are close, please come see me.
Hey, beam me to Indiana, Scotty.
Sorry, what'd you say? My dog was crying.
Beam me down to Indiana, Scotty.
Yeah. That would be a crazy time change for you. It's very flat here. I live in the middle of Indiana, so it's just cornfields. I'm not in the beach up north or the hills down south, so it's all flat and boring here.
And then I am your host, Clint Baker. The worst show Around Reality's Bend season 2 is going to be on Spotify February 14th. You can listen to season 1 now for free. Just look up either Clint Baker stories or The Worshipped Around Reality's Bend. Also, book 3 is on the way. You guys are seeing it first here, by the way. Working on the cover. This is more or less the cover for book 3. You got Zeus's eagle and what I call the God complex there in the background. I got to work on the lettering because it comes up a little weird. But more or less, this is a cover. This has been great, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Hasta bye-bye.
Thank you.